You are listening to the Primetime Podcast with your hosts, Bryant Chisel and Jake Jorgensen. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all ages. We are back. The long wait is over. Another season of fantasy football is about to begin. 2024. Getting ready to kick off here. It is Wednesday evening. So we got Chiefs, Ravens off the season. And I'm here with the trusty co-host, Jake Jorgensen. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, boys? Yeah, we are back for another year on the Rewind.
Ready
Pumped
to
to be
lose.
here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm probably ready to lose this year. I'll talk about that on the pod here, but very different team than last year. New look offense, as they would say. Not a good look though.
Yeah, well.
We'll get into it.
All right, so for this episode, everyone, I think what we're going to do, obviously we don't have any matchups to review. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to preview all the matchups, and then as we preview the matchups, we're going to go over some of the teams, see if we get any teams we like, don't like, players we like and don't like, talk about how stacked my team is and how terrible Jake, all that kind of stuff. So, are you ready? Does that sound good to you, Jake?
Yes, I am ready.
Boom. Roasted.
The soundboard is back. Let's go.
First use of the soundboard of the new season.
All right, let's get into these, huh? We're not going to talk about draft
So,
grades. I think,
we'll just skip over that one.
was that first pick? Was it first pick in the 7th round? Is that what the deal was for you?
It was first pick in the 5th round, and then I didn't realize that. I also didn't have my 6th. I didn't have my. That was almost worse, knowing that I also didn't have my next round pick. Actually, I didn't know that ahead of time. I just was like, wait, why are they skipping over me right now? That's crazy.
Yeah, that was a good time. In the draft room, Jake was sitting here, and he made his 5th pick. He was sweating away, watching all these guys go, and he hadn't made a single pick yet. It helps that you have Stephon Diggs, Jaden Reed, and CeeDee Lamb. They're pretty solid keepers. But 5th round comes around, and you finally get to make your pick, and then I think you were getting ready for your next pick in the 6th, and it skipped over you because you actually didn't have it. I think you traded it to Brandon, if I remember correctly.
I believe so. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Good times there. Yep. Draft room was buzzing.
So it was probably about the first 30 minutes of the draft, maybe a little bit more, and I just kept hearing people checking in. How's the draft going? I haven't even had a pick yet. That was pretty sad.
Yeah.
And I believe best available in the 5th round was David Montgomery, who I am high on this year actually. But
fair enough.
I was watching all of these tiers of running backs being gone. So yeah, I was happy with David Montgomery, and actually Najee Harris was my 7th round pick, I believe. So I was happy to get some running backs, but I never plan on doing that again where I'm gonna have to sit that long. And it's not like I had CeeDee is obviously a really nice keeper, but I didn't have the insane keepers that I've had in previous years to have to wait that long. So yeah, we'll take a look at the teams here, though.
Yeah, let's get after it, huh? We'll start on the winning side here. Schwab on my Dobbs. I might change it. I don't know. I have to change my picture still because I have Josh Dobbs in there. I still have Romeo, so I could, but I think I'm gonna put some thought into swapping that out. We'll see. We got the Dak Prescott versus the Jordan Love matchup. Be interesting. Jordan Love plays on Friday in Brazil. Philly.
In Brazil, yes.
I believe I heard a couple hours ago that the Packers had landed. Exciting news.
It is.
Dak plays Cleveland. That's a tough matchup, or at least if we go off of last year's defenses, that'd be a tough matchup. So, not that Philly's defense isn't, if I remember correctly, they're see how that goes. It'll be a pretty even quarterback battle. Hopefully Jordan Love levels up this year. It'll be great.
Yeah, I do like Jordan Love this year. I wasn't planning on necessarily going with him as my pick this year, but I was able to pick up Caleb Williams for maybe some upside as one of my later round picks. hopefully I won't have to start him this year. Hopefully Jordan Love's just going to pop off the entire season.
Hopefully you
So I'm a
never
Packer
want to
fan.
start him this year and he just stinks.
Yeah, that would be fine with me actually. But yeah, the Jordan Love Jaden Reed stack. Hopefully it does wonders in week 1 in
Yeah,
Brazil.
it totally could.
Possible.
But
Yeah.
you know what could be better is the Jordan Love Romeo Dobbs.
Oh, on the bench.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I guess yeah, that's true though. I do like Dobbs.
All right, we got on my side for receivers Olave and Mike Evans, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. in the flex. You have Diggs, Reed, and CeeDee Lamb in the flex. Nice flex there. CeeDee Lamb's gonna play, Jake. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm surprised the Yahoo still has something there.
I think ESPN and
Twisters
Sleeper both
exempt
do as
list.
well. I think all the
Do they?
platforms.
Okay.
He's still technically on it, is my understanding.
Yeah,
I don't
it
think they've
sounded
taken
like
him off.
I haven't looked into this too much. I haven't really been worried about it at all.
Yeah, me neither.
From what I heard, it sounded like it was just a roster move, so they could technically roster somebody for a little bit longer. So we'll see.
Yep, that's my understanding too. Technically, they can do it for 2 weeks, Jake.
Okay.
If they want to play without CeeDee Lamb for 2 weeks,
they're gonna try to freak people out.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Fantasy.
I'm guessing they'll wait as long as they can, but yeah, I'm sure play the Olave against Carolina. He wasn't a very fun ride last year, but he got the job done. On Diggs, how do you feel about Diggs this year, Jake? You know,
they've got a great. I love the Houston offense.
Yep.
I was drafting Stroud everywhere I could, so I'm pretty high on them. But yeah, except here, did not have the opportunity to do that. Not even close, really. Actually, yeah, I don't think so. But yeah, I like Stephon Diggs. I don't think he can do worse than where he was positioned. Which, since I kept him, I didn't get to see like where he would have gone. But honestly, they have like the 4th round right now. I thought that was pretty good value considering I think the Texans are going to have to pass a lot this year, and I don't know if it's a given that Nico Collins is able to do what he did last year now that Stephon's there. So I'm pretty high on him. I was glad to be able to keep him. My other option would have been Keenan Allen going over to the Bears. I don't know. I thought Stephon Diggs was the move.
Yeah,
we'll find out pretty quickly, but if he's not the move right away, there'll be enough drama to get him the ball at one point, which is very accurate.
You got that right.
So, Yes.
Got the Mike Evans versus Jaden Reed, both pretty good players. Hopefully, you're hoping Jaden Reed levels up this year. I think a lot of people listening are because Packers.
Yes.
Mike Evans
is my favorite Packer receiver. He is.
He could be a stud.
Yeah.
We got the Mike Evans train going. Hopefully he just does what he's been doing for the past basically decade at this point. 4 touchdowns and get 1,000 yards receiving. Kyren Williams, David Montgomery. I think Kyren was a little banged up in camp, but ready to go now. David Montgomery. Would think he'd get the red zone work. Gibbs could beat there. You just gotta hope he falls into the end zone, I guess. Pretty much.
And I mean, yeah, Gibbs, not wishing on any injuries from Gibbs, but if it does happen, I mean, Montgomery would be an insane play at that point. But yeah, that's what he did last year. He stole a lot of red zone carries. Expect him to do the same. He's not going to be projected too much. Like right now, he's at 11.4. He's not going to be projected a crazy amount, but if he gets a touchdown, it's easily going to be over his projection, which is nice. So, and Kyren Williams, I've got the stash just in case something happens.
You got Blake Corum.
If anyone's wondering, look at my bench. It is not a deep team at all. It is taking a lot of chances, taking a lot of lottery tickets on some rookies, some young guys. Even have Wicks on the bench. What was that?
Especially the guy at the bottom of your bench.
Oh, absolutely. Jameson. First trade of the season. Or actually not my first trade of the season. There was one before that with Caden Brandon, I believe. But yeah, so even though my team is not looking great my roster is not looking great compared to other teams in the league, I did trade somebody who got shot within a week of when I traded them.
Another brilliant GM decision from Jake.
Brilliant, stocks.
Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I'm a huge Jameson guy, so we'll see. Wasn't able to keep him, couldn't justify keeping him last season, but maybe I'll keep him after this one. Who knows?
Ooh. Got Alvin Kamara and Najee
Harris. Be really good.
Yeah, he would have to be. Well, you probably
He'd have to
drafted
be
him pretty
really
late. You know, he probably doesn't have
Yeah,
to be.
that's true. I think I drafted him with my last pick the year before, but I think there was the gambling. He was out for a couple games because of that.
Yep.
So he's getting drafted pretty late,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the injury. But that's all in the past. Now he's just Jameson, the beast.
We got Kamara, Najee, Mark Andrews, Ferguson. I love a bit of Jake Ferguson. But Jake, I have to ask you. Got a lot of Dallas in this team.
That's fine.
Got a lot of
It's fine with
Dallas in
me.
my quarterback.
Oh, if he passes to my guys, I'll take
Good.
those points. I will take those points.
Or he could pass to the true RB1 on the team.
Oh.
That'll. We'll see how it goes. Cameron Dicker, Brandon Aubrey. My matchup.
Yeah, not the best matchup. So I think when the Chiefs met in the regular season against Baltimore, Lamar had an insane performance. I don't know if it's going to happen in week 1, but could very well happen. I'm not going to drop anybody to pick up a better defense, so this is what you will see is Kansas City defense.
Big. Benches looks like I have 5 running backs, 2 receivers, so definitely definitely running back heavy, light on the receivers. I am flexing Marvin Harrison. I have 5 on the roster, but I would definitely say receiver is probably a weaker point to my team as far as depth goes. And Jaden Daniels is a lottery ticket at quarterback, and that looks about it.
Probably a tough week or a tough matchup for your first game in Tampa Bay for Jane Daniels, but
Yeah,
he did look pretty nice in the preseason.
I'm just gonna let him sit on the bench and see if he can run for more yards than he can throw.
True.
Like his MO, so we'll see. I could get a little Justin Fields.
Very possible.
Got the lottery ticket of Caleb Williams, rocking backup QB. Good luck with that pick, buddy. You already hit on Marshawn Lloyd a little bit with the unfortunate A.J. Dillon injury, hopping on IR in the camp, but that's good for your Lloyd stock. So you got 4 running backs. We got the rookie Trey Benson, who I like quite a bit. Blake Corum. Got that. Was it Miami?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Just lottery tickets. Like, that's what I was doing. I was drafting as many as I could.
I mean, he has Achane and Mostert in front of him, and those guys are, injury risks.
Yeah.
Mostert's like 31 years old or something like that, and Achane, Brandon's guy, was hurt, like 2 times last year alone?
Yeah. So I'm fine having. I'm just hoping somebody can become the starter at one point, and then that would be big. But
yep. I think in general our teams are almost built pretty similarly. You got wide receivers in your bench, same as me. They're both, could be good, but David Wicks, he's funny to watch. Like he has all these big plays every now and then. Right? I don't know if he'll really get volume. He might be a boom bust type of guy.
Yeah,
a lot of
I'd agree
to
that.
feed there.
Yeah, our teams definitely look really similar. It looks like just the running back position in particular, starting running backs, you just have an edge there, a couple points.
Yeah, but you've got a couple backup tight. I don't have.
True.
Shots there. Isaiah Likely's probably pretty good. Stud.
He is a stud, yeah.
All in all, feel pretty good here. I can't help but notice that I can't actually pick the winner. Yahoo, WTF.
What?
I have to turn this on as a setting. Acceptable. There's what do they call play? Something stupid. Play.
Usually just call it weekly pick'em or something.
Yeah, something like that. Well, this is unacceptable. I might try to find it later. That would break my heart if that's not in. All right. Well.
So, what do you pick yourself?
Oh,
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm taking myself. So.
Jake, I have half of mine to leave my co-host off the show until he wins.
Oh.
Probably not, but you know, we could.
That could be dangerous, as I said earlier. But
yeah,
I'm
sure there's a couple other teams that'll go on losing. They'll be safe. But you know, I do have Bree waiting in the wings. If you're out, Jake, she said she's more than willing to talk shit about everybody in this league.
That would be pretty funny.
Especially that George guy that we're gonna talk about. Well, what is this? What is this? He's Aaron Rodgers. Oh, that's funny.
Is that me and Eric?
No, that's both George.
Oh, that's George.
Yeah,
You're like
it's
so small. It looks like me and Eric for some reason. Which would not.
That's George.
Gotcha.
That's George and Aaron Rodgers.
That's awesome.
That's good stuff, Brandon.
That would make more sense. I forgot Michael always kind of customizes it to whoever's playing that week, so it's classic.
Oh man! All right, on to some like winning teams. Brandon had all of his picks in the top 10 rounds. George's team, I think he had most of his picks, if I remember correctly. There were a couple trades here and there, but for the most part, he had some nasty keepers though. Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, and Breece Hall. That's a heck of a start. Hard to screw up that draft, huh?
Yeah. So who did he trade? He traded Cup to Cade or something
last
like
year?
that.
Yeah, it was like Cup.
Yeah.
It was Cup for
AJ
Brown, and there was something else in between.
Some picks involved.
It might have been like Dallas Goedert or something. That I remember. I don't know.
But yeah, those are pretty nasty keepers.
Yeah, those are nice keepers. Brandon had Pacheco late, if I remember. 8th round Pacheco, Achane, and Garrett Wilson in the 2nd round. So right around where Garrett. Yeah. This is nice. Brandon has Jalen Hurts, Cup, Nico Collins, Pacheco, Achane, Kelsey, Wilson. Solid starting lineup. That. George has Lamar, Jefferson, Brown, Brees, Ramondre, McBride, Higgins. How do you feel about McBride this year? Been a lot of hype on him.
I was early on McBride. I picked him up in Dynasty a while back, and I didn't really get to start him because I had the Laporta, Kelsey. Like I was just nasty on tight ends. So I won't go there, but I do like McBride. I was surprised how early he was being drafted. Like people are really high on him everywhere this year. But at the same time, like that's where I don't think I drafted Kelsey anywhere this year because it feels like there's so many more options. And I'd rather draft a wide receiver or running back in that spot. But
this year does feel unusually.
It does always look good on the lineup to have Kelsey there, so I'm not actually complaining about it. Just that it doesn't feel like it was mandatory at all.
I agree. What about Ramondre? Keep doing what he did last year. Be okay.
Yeah.
Not really.
You're just looking at George's team. I like Tyler Algier sitting on the bench there. Any league I took Bijan, I had to take Algier, so maybe we'll see if George trades with the Bijan owner.
You gotta remember
for that one.
Arthur Smith, Jake Algiers dominate the backfield anymore.
That is true. I just meant that's a great he's one of the better backup running backs in the league. I'd say.
Yeah, and he'll get worked in. So. I mean, it's not like Bijan's gonna get 30 carries a game.
Yeah.
Unless.
Oh,
Brandon's running backs? Whoa, he's got Kenneth Walker on the bench, James Conner on the bench.
Yeah, Brandon,
holy shit, his team is loaded.
He was debating whether to draft a kicker or a defense because why would you draft a kicker or defense when your last pick is in round 12 or whatever it was? So he does have a really good team. He's got to be making some trades.
Wow.
Honestly, I should be trading for stuff from him, but
if I were him,
I don't really want to trade picks.
I don't even know if I'd want to make any trades if I were him. I'd just let it ride for a couple weeks, and then when the bye weeks kick in, your team is just infinite.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about.
There'll be injuries,
was it Brandon was it Brandon or Greg last year that had so many receivers that it became a problem.
Oh,
It became a problem in the rewind in
I
particular.
know we kept roasting Greg for benching Martinez.
Yeah, so it must have been Greg that had. I think that sounds right. That had all the receivers. So that's the only danger. Is
Brandon had a lot
you're
of
too
receivers too,
stacked.
though. He had Waddle and Devonta Smith, I think, last year, and he was struggling to figure out who to start with between.
That doesn't make sense. Yeah,
I
that
think
makes
you were
sense.
you were right on both of them.
Cool.
Yeah, this is looking at Brandon's starting lineup and looking at Georgia's starting lineup, they look like pretty even squads. You know, personally, not the biggest Ramondre guy, but he'll get work and he'll be the guy. I just don't know if he's going to get a ton of touchdowns. I think the pace is bad this year. Might not be a ton of big long drives. Hopefully, volume. But when you look at the benches, I mean, Georgia's bench is fine, right? I mean, Jalen Warren, Rome Odunze, Cortland Sutton, Brock Purdy, Goddard, Lockett. Some of these guys are okay. I don't know, man. I'm actually not sold on. Brock Purdy's good. Tyler Lockett could be all right. People are really fading him. Cortland Sutton's the only guy in Denver, so maybe he has to be good.
Purdy's fine. I mean, that was my guy last year.
Oh yeah, Purdy's
that
great.
I picked up.
But you're not probably starting him over Lamar unless Lamar starts really
No.
stinking it up. So that might upset George in the future every now and then. Because Brock Purdy's, like you said, he's a great quarterback as far as fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to put up fantasy points in that offense. And Lamar can be great. He's been known to go on streaks of stinking. And he'll start starting Brock Purdy because he's pissed at Lamar. And then Lamar's going to have that 40 or 50-point game, you know, on George's bench. I can see it already, George. You're in for a rough season, man. I don't know about Rome. You know, obviously if there's an injury to one of the wide receivers there, he could be great. I think he's an awesome talent, but Keenan Allen and DJ.
I do agree with you about the Ramondre thing. Like, I think if I'm George, I'd want to upgrade by like using a T Higgins to get a better, like a higher quality running back. I'd probably do like a T Higgins and Ramondre for a better running back, something like that. Because I like, you can always put Odunze in there.
Sutton
or somebody
should at least be
week.
consistent.
Sutton.
You should have a floor because he's the only guy there that. Judy's gone and Patrick got cut, hurt, both. I know he's not on the team anymore.
Pretty sure yeah. I believe you're right.
So they have Sutton and then they have rookie, I think.
Somebody that's like at the top of players you can add in a lot of leagues right now that I don't know about.
Probably. Whereas Brandon's bench is like a whole freaking starting lineup. Kenneth Walker, James Conner, great running backs. Amari Cooper, Tank Dell, Zay Flowers, Calvin Ridley. I love Calvin Ridley. Pause a second. Deontay Johnson. I mean, Jerome Ford's going to be great for at least half the year, in my opinion. Chubb could miss a lot of time this year.
Yeah, it sucks that this is probably a rare league where Jerome Ford won't be able to be used, apparently, by Brandon.
No kidding. I might have to hop into his DMs.
That's pretty sad.
Brandon's team is loaded. Like, the problem is, when you're trading with Brandon, I think you're only really going to be able to offer him picks because what does he need?
Yeah, pretty much. Just picks. I mean, yeah, why wouldn't, if you're Brandon, you trade Jerome Ford to the Nick Chubb owner for something?
Yeah, but for what, though?
Like that.
What does he want?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Team is loaded. Problem with a loaded team like this is it'll be tough for Brandon to get trades done, I think, unless we're willing to chuck picks at him because he doesn't have any holes to fill. Look at that and say, why give up Jerome Ford for this guy when I could just keep Jerome Ford and if Achane goes down, I have Jerome Ford, Kenneth Walker, and James Conner. You know what he should be doing is packaging, Kenneth Walker and Jerome Ford or Kenneth Walker and Tank Dell or something like that for Kenneth
Walker and Nico Collins for a big name receiver.
Exactly.
Something like that.
You go after
that's what I'm looking at.
CeeDee Lamb.
Not that, but yeah.
Or, CMC or, Tyreek Hill, those guys, right? Jamar Chase.
Yeah, something like that.
Get after it, man. Because The wide receivers are solid depth, but
Chris Olave, maybe.
I mean, I might not say no to that. Probably wouldn't
Something
say
like
no.
that.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. Just hop in my DM.
I'm constructing a trade.
All right, who you got in Brandon versus George?
Week 1, Brandon versus George. I think I'm leaning George here.
Yeah, it's funny. I hyped up Brandon's team so much, and I think I lean George too because the starting lineups are similar.
You can't start the bench.
Exactly. You can't. You're exactly right. It's like, yeah, the bench is nasty.
Bench.
Brandon's team is definitely better, but the starting lineup. I mean, he's got Baltimore against Kansas City. San Fran against the Jets. Oh no, I don't know. I mean, Garrett Wilson's tough matchup. T. Higgins should be fine. Ride. We'll see. Me. HN could have 40 points. The one week all year long that he's going to be healthy. You could also have 4 carries and have like 10 points, right? 1 touchdown and 20 yards.
Yep.
Justin Jefferson could stink, but he could just be great. Sam Darnold, let's throw the ball somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. I think I this is kind of a coin flip for me. I do lean George, although I do like Brandon's players a lot. It's just, the Breece Hall, AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson, Lamar. If Lamar played, a lot of this I think hinges on Lamar.
Yeah, I'm sure he had like 40, 45 points in the last matchup against Kansas City. This is you'd think it'd be a high scoring game, and there's back and forth.
Yeah.
21 seems pretty low for Lamar, but it is a Thursday game.
It is Thursday game. Yeah, but Thursday games don't hit the same when it's the first Thursday
Yeah,
game.
that's very true. It's the first Thursday. That's just a mental thing.
Yeah.
It's Thursday game.
That could be.
But
all right, let's move on to we got Preston and Greg. Looks like Preston's projected big over Greg right now. What do we got going on here? Manthai's got Stroud, Puka, Waddle, JT, Jacobs, Laporta, Devontae Adams. That's a pretty solid team. Devontae Adams in the flex.
This is one of my favorite teams in the league right now. Is Preston's team, actually.
I don't know how I feel about Puka. Personally, it's like Cooper Kupp's older, but Puka could disappoint in respect to his ADP this year just because of Kupp stays healthy, does Cooper Kupp things. He still probably goes to breakfast with Matt Stafford. I don't know if
that is true. I was listening to a podcast. It just confirmed they are still eating breakfast together.
See, there you go. And you heard whoever's listening to this podcast also just heard that news.
They also just heard that. Yes.
There you go. It's a nice team. Don't get me wrong. It is a very nice team. The bench, Brandon Ayuk slots right in there. Problem. Kyle Pitts is a pretty great backup. Could be a stud. Mixon, good depth. McLaurin, Zach Moss, good depth. Lab McConkey, got to chuck that darts. Keep him where you draft him. Nick Chubb, probably not the guy I would have kept personally, but looking at Preston's team from last year, it's hard to blame him. And you got the IR spot, so who knows? Maybe Chubb comes back this year, and I don't know. To me, I think, was it Lemons that said this during the draft and in the draft room? So someone said that if they were Preston, they would have let Chubb go and drafted him in the 9th because I doubt anybody else probably would have. Maybe reach in the 8th if you want, and then next year when he's healthy, that's when you keep him. Draft him in. Good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But hey, we live and we learn, I guess. Let's check out Greg's team. Tua. I'd like Tua this year. That Miami-Jacksonville game, to me, 19 is a really low projection for Tua because I'm pretty sure that Miami-Jacksonville team is projected. That game is supposed to be the highest scoring game of the week, I think, for Vegas. It's one of them if it's not the highest. So to me, 19 feels low unless they're saying Achane's getting 3 tuds, which good. Michael Pittman. We'll see if Anthony Richardson can get him the ball. I almost said Ray Rice.
Almost.
Holy man, Rashee Rice. I don't think he'll be suspended this year. I think he's gonna be a fantastic pick. Greg, you got to steal wherever the hell you drafted him. It doesn't even matter. 7th round, nice. Congratulations. Amir Gibbs, good. Jones. How do you feel about Jones?
I mean, I see about where he's being drafted right now. Teams are going to have to respect him
Yeah.
because they don't have to respect anything else. On the, like, I mean, they have to respect the receivers, but
Yeah, I mean, it's
I was looking forward to seeing what McCarthy could do, not against us, but yeah, it's a tough situation for the Vikings right now. I don't hate Jones at all. Rashee Rice, though, that's another one. I don't think I drafted him anywhere, and I don't think I avoided it, but didn't feel right drafting the. It's would you consider him the consensus one for the obviously not Kelsey, but I think he's considered the consensus one, wide receiver one for the Chiefs right now. And it feels like that's still kind of a toss up to me at least.
you
So I don't know
know
if I've thought drafting him
I'm
there, but
very in G Rice. I think he's
okay.
definitely the one there. And to top that, I was talking to Brandon when we were on vacation a week or two ago. I did tell him, I'll put this on the record. I told him I think Rashee Rice outscores Travis Kelsey this year in terms of yardage.
Oh,
I mean, Kelsey might beat him out for tuds because Kelsey's a red zone monster.
yeah.
But as far as actual receiving work, receptions, and yards, I think Rice is going to beat him out. Personally, I think the team's going to be a little more careful with Kelsey. I don't know.
Sounds like a hot take, but
it might
I
be.
can see it happening.
I don't know if I see
happening.
Kelsey getting 12 targets a game. You know what I mean? It's like I could see Rashee Rice bagging 10 plus targets a game, and if you're getting that from Mahomes, ooh, baby.
That is very true.
So
Yeah.
we'll see though. I mean, there are a lot of potential wide receivers in Kansas City that could put up some numbers. I think still have MVS. They might have brought back Juju. Obviously, they have
They got
Xavier
Worthy now. Yeah,
and he's was he a first round rookie?
He was pick 31. No, yeah, 31, right?
That sounds right to
No,
me.
32.
Whatever they had at
Something
the end
like
of the draft.
Yeah, because I had the last
32,
pick, whatever.
Right,
yeah.
So, there's definitely players that could compete with him for targets, but I think Rashee Rice is just that good. So, it is what it is. A lot of people really like Brock Bowers this year. I can't do it, man. I avoid him like the plague. Rookie tight end for the Raiders.
Doesn't help the last year's rookie tight end for the Raiders didn't do so well, but
but I don't know. To me, if he played for like the Chargers, I could see that a lot more, just because there's not a ton of competition there, and you have a quarterback. The Raiders, it's kind of the opposite. Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers are both going to get targets, and neither of those guys were good last year. I don't know how you could tight end. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he becomes a big red zone threat or something. Touchdowns for tight end, really.
True.
Let it ride. Ja'Marr Chase in the flex, as Greg likes to put him. Just first guy to the bench.
Well, I respect. Well, you see Rashee Rice.
Yeah, he's got to be there.
They didn't move him because of Thursday game.
I would put Pittman.
So I do respect that.
It's just a respect thing for Ja'Marr Chase. Put your studs in the starting lineup.
That is true.
What kind of GM are you, dude? Telling your players they got to earn their right to be. Oh, it's because of the contract dispute. No players are bigger than the club, so he's punishing him by putting him in flex. That's got to be what it is.
Yeah, that's got to be.
All right, I respect that, Greg. Play hardball. Keep going, buddy. Zamir White on the bench. I like Zamir. He might end up starting over Aaron Jones in a lot of weeks if Minnesota's offense can't get. Christian Watson.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah.
Curtis Samuel, or Cousins. You like that? I like that, Greg. Nice stuff. Freiermuth. Honestly, I would be starting Freiermuth over Brock Bowers. And potentially
I like that.
At least for week 1.
Yeah, week 1 for sure. Yeah.
Well, plus, there's a lot less competition in Pittsburgh. And the quarterback situation is potentially probably about the same. Could be better. Chuba Hubbard. The starter for now. Jonathan Brooks is there, but we'll see how long that takes to switch over. I think he was listed the starter in the depth chart, which but never know. All right, who do you got?
I've got Manti week 1.
Yeah, me
too.
too.
I didn't even talk about this yet, but first of all, I do like Manti's bench as well. I like Pitts this year.
Oh yeah.
With Cousins, obviously, a lot of people do.
Solid bench.
Mixon I kind of hate seeing Mixon on the bench. He has to, looking at this lineup. I don't think maybe he doesn't have to, but you're going to start Waddle. That's the only guy I could think about is maybe moving Devontae up to Waddle's spot and then maybe starting Mixon. But
I'd start Waddle.
I don't know. I'd be tempted. I'd really be tempted with Mixon. I do like Mixon this year.
I'd be benching Mixon. I get it though. I do. Maybe you bench Waddle on a different week, but like I said, that game's supposedly high scoring. I would
Yeah,
take those points, especially when you're playing as Tua. You got to eat those points up when you can.
true.
Boy, Preston.
Yeah.
It's a nasty team though. Kudos to Preston. This is a pretty solid squad here. We'll see how long that lasts. We know how that goes with him. So it's full Chubb, I see. So
Taking the flyer on Lad McConkey, I like that as well. So.
Oh yeah. You got to take a rookie wide receiver in this league. Take your shot. Grab one of them. If they hit, you get a guy in like the 12th or the 14th, wherever you draft them. Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cade and LK. Cade's team: Josh Allen, Christian Kirk, Godwin, Saquon, Brian Robinson, Dalton Schultz, Travis Etienne. Pretty solid. Dalton Schultz, I could, in the past, I've liked Dalton Schultz because he's typically got a decent number of targets coming his way. With all those other guys in Houston's offense, I'm personally kind of out on Dalton Schultz. I think he's a good tight end, but I don't think he's going to get like somewhere in the 2 to 5 targets a game range to me and catch 1 to 3 of them. I don't know.
Yeah. This is why I was avoiding Tank Dell. They've got so many. I do like Dalton Schultz, and I'm wondering like how this is even going to work. That's why I drafted Stroud where I could.
CJ Stroud, that's fair.
I really like their offense, but yeah, I mean, I wasn't going out of my way to get Dalton Schultz either. I think I had the choice between Schultz and Ferguson when Ferguson.
I totally would have done that too. Absolutely.
Yeah, not just the Wisconsin Badger stuff, but just because.
There's not really anybody else behind CD in that. Brandon Cooks is still there, I think, but he's not a big target hog anymore.
He's banged up right now too. Yeah. Also.
Overall, pretty solid squad from Cade. I mean, Saquon and Bijan, very nice. I think Christian Kirk could be great this year. Chris Godwin, I think they said they were moving him back into the slot where he feasted a few years ago, so who knows there. Etienne was a monster last year on touchdowns. Josh Allen's obviously stud. See if he can keep it going without Stephon Diggs there. But overall, it's not a bad team, that's for sure.
Yeah, this Cade's team I think is probably my top 3 or 4. I mean, besides Dalton Schultz, I really like the squad. Went running back heavy. I'm always a fan of, and Devin Singletary on the bench even have pretty high on this year. Also, like I think where he's being drafted, he could get some good value.
Yeah.
Not that he'll actually get to play Devin Singletary, probably, but
it's true.
Yeah, I like Cade's team a lot. Christian Kirk, another guy. That's somebody I've been targeting kind of in the mid rounds. So I really do like Cade's team.
Yeah, Christian Kirk, I think, could have a really good year again. On the laner side, we got Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, nice stack there. Debo could have a nice year. Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's either going to feast in Baltimore or really stink. And I lean on the feast side. But let's see. Yeah. James Cook. Oh, yeah. Evan Ingram. Nice. Devonta Smith. Oh, I like Lane's team way more than Cade's. I'm not going to lie. At least the starting lineup. I love this starting lineup. Good stuff here. I'll trade you my team for you.
I will also trade my team for either of these teams.
You do that for anybody in the league.
Let the record show. Yeah.
On the bench, we got on Cade's side, Singletary, Xavier Worthy, good dart throw. Justin Herbert, good backup. Cole Kmet. He's in the same situation as Dalton Schultz for me, where I think he's a fine tight end.
Yep.
There's so many mouths.
Exact same situation.
But with the rookie quarterback in Chicago, maybe Caleb Williams takes the dump offs when he can get them. But I don't know if it's me. I'm designing plays to dump off to guys that can get a little more yak than Cole Kmet. But what do I know? I'm not a Juju, Josh Palmer. I think Josh Palmer could be set up for a good year. Nobody else is really there to compete except for Lad McConkey and Coleman. And Coleman's Buffalo. Jerry Jeudy, Keon, and then he has a couple guys in the IR looking good.
Yeah, I was about to comment on that. I do like Keaton Mitchell sitting there in the IR.
Yeah, you got to respect that.
Derrick Henry, he played really well when he was healthy last year. So,
absolutely.
Worth a shot.
On lane 7.
Xavier Worthy, another upside.
Oh, yeah.
Upside pick I like. So.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, you got to take that rookie wide receiver because to keep him.
And it was the Bills that passed up on Xavier Worthy. I forgot what they picked a receiver too, right? Was it Coleman?
Yeah,
Or
they
was
got
it
Keon
somebody?
Coleman. I think he was picked
Coleman, okay.
33 of the draft or something like that. He was really early second, I think.
Was it somebody else that was picked? Maybe they didn't pick receiver, but I don't remember I just remember people were blaming the Bills for allowing Worthy, the fast dude, to get to the Chiefs.
That could be.
So,
I mean, pretty much every team in the NFL passed up on him, so hard
yeah,
to
it was just easy to call
yeah.
whoever was right before them or whatever.
Yeah, I get
Still,
it.
Yeah.
All right, on lane side bench, we got Keenan Allen, Jonathan Brooks. A little banged up right now, but play NFI. He's on the NFI. He's gonna miss 4 games minimum. Okay. Oh, he tore his ACL in college, November. Little of a late start, but he could be good in the second half potentially. Jordan Addison, Gus Edwards, Njoku. See, both the lanes tight ends I like way better than Cade's tight ends. I think that's partially what does it for me. DeAndre Hopkins,
true.
Gibson, of course, for the culture. For Lawrence.
Yeah, Njoku was a guy I was targeting in a couple leagues where I was basically taking a sacrifice at tight end. Like he was kind of at the end of that tier that I liked of tight ends. He had a good, he was doing fine last year. Was it a career year or something like that? I can't remember. He was doing good. So I don't mind seeing Njoku there at all, and it's not even a starter right now.
Evan Ingram was a target hog last year too. We'll see if he keeps it up now that they've added a couple guys, I believe. Gabe Davis is then chucked into the mix, and they brought in Brian Thomas Jr.
Zay Jones, or was that Jags? I think somebody else.
Is he there or is he in Baltimore?
I think he was in Baltimore. I got to check now.
Yeah, look into that for us. On the spot reporting coming at you.
Let me see.
I think if it's
I think it's Zay Flowers probably.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say Jones is on the Cardinals, so completely inaccurate. But
gotcha.
Yeah.
Like a bird team.
My Jags Cardinals mix up there.
That's all good. I think if I had to pick a team on this one, I'm going Lane. I like the squad.
Well, I disagree with you on this one, but
Cade? Big split.
That's fair. I'm going with Cade.
Big split. All right. Let's get to the last matchup. Lemons and Nick B. 3-time champ. Oh, I've been in this league. This is year 14, if you can believe it. I have 1 win. I have 1 championship, and it was the very first year. Oh man, Aaron Foster, I love you.
I don't remember if I have 2 or 3, but I've got 2 or 3. One of the, it's probably 2, but for some reason I think it was 3.
At least 2.
I was gonna say 2. I'm just gonna say 2.
I'm champ.
But
like that, not gonna lie. Got Lemons knowing his place with Mr. 4th place. Good for him. All right, what do we got going on here? We got Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, DK Metcalf, Rachaad White, Raheem Mostert, George Kittle, and Brian Robinson. Pretty good. There's a lot of upside on that between, obviously Mahomes can do his thing. Tyreek Hill, Raheem Mostert. But George Kittle's a pretty boom bust guy. DK Metcalf can feast on touchdowns when he feels like it. Overall, it's a lineup that definitely could disappoint you, but it could blow up for 200.
Oh yeah.
So.
And I think this is a spot where I probably would have liked Clemens to not take Mahomes here and have a better flex at the moment, and then pick a later quarterback. Easy to say now, but that's probably the one improvement I'd say.
Mahomes too.
Oh, he did keep Mahomes. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
He kept him in the 4th, so it's a bit of value. He kept Mahomes. He kept Tyreek. He actually kept Brian Robinson. I thought was kind of weird. I'm pretty sure he's going later. I could be wrong. I didn't see anything. As far as yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a good team. We'll see. Nick B, Anthony Richardson. I'm on the record sucking him off.
You are better than Mahomes. Whoa, big matchup. Yeah. Big matchup week 1, Richardson versus Mahomes.
Huge match. You know what? Richardson might outscore Mahomes and only play 3 quarters.
Oh.
I don't know. Nick B must agree with me because I remember him taking Richardson pretty early. I'm a believer of Anthony Richardson. I think he's a horrible NFL quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I think he cannot throw football, but that doesn't matter in fantasy football because we watched Justin
True.
Fields be like the quarterback 3 or something a couple years ago, at least for a stretch until he got hurt, where he was just a monster. 40 points, 40 points, 40 points, and then I traded for him and he got hurt and then he stunk. But
Yeah.
Guys like Anthony Richardson can absolutely do that. And we saw that last year for the little bit of what did he play, like 2.5 games, right? But really he played like a half, 3/4 and a half, or something ridiculous like that. I don't think any of them are full games. So if he can somehow stay healthy, or at least healthy enough to play every week, I think he could be a darn good quarterback. The Colts are going to stink, though. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. And I mean, he's got Kyler on the bench, so
Yeah, that's true.
if something happens, he's got some insurance there.
And that's what you got to
Don't
do
mind Kyler.
when you draft guys like Anthony Richardson. You got to take a good backup quarterback. You can't have guys like I don't know. I don't know if I'd take a Kirk Cousins, right? Kirk Cousins could be fine, but I don't know if I'd want to be locked into starting him every week. Anthony Richardson goes too.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow would be a good backup too, probably.
I'm looking at that lineup right away, and I'm wondering if Malik Neighbors doesn't sneak into the flex spot or something over Pickens. Like, I'm kind of a little surprised. That's probably the biggest surprise I have on Nick's lineup at the moment, because I do like Neighbors a lot this year.
Hey, so he's got Drake London, DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey, stud, obviously, Tony Pollard, Dalton Kincaid, who I love this Dalton Kincaid here, I think. And got George Pickens there. George Pickens is kind of a polarizing player, I think, in fantasy right now. I'm personally not in on him, but I don't know. He seems talented, and some people are really in on him. So maybe Nick B's one of those guys that thinks Pickens is going to be stud this year. I don't know if anybody's really predicting to be a top 12 guy or anything. He can be a flex guy, and it would make sense. It's not like there's a ton of guys in Pittsburgh to catch the ball, so he's kind of been left on an island there as the guy. But you're not wrong. Malik Neighbors could make it there. I kind of have a personal policy of not starting rookies week 1. And I know I'm breaking it by starting Marvin Harrison Jr. That's a bit of a special case because he was like a pick.
Yeah.
Something like that. So
I think Malik Neighbors counts as the special case as well, in my opinion.
He could.
Like, he was another early pick.
It's fair. He was. You're right. I mean, it definitely isn't any.
But I can see why Rome Odunze doesn't get I know that he was in the same range, but
I mean, well, there's just so much competition. To me, Rome is a different case because I don't know if I expect him to really be that guy at all this year. Whereas Malik Neighbors, who else is in New York catching footballs?
Yeah, you have to. You're going to be down in a lot of games. You're going to have to keep passing the ball. It's just one of those things.
So
I don't know.
Yeah, that is something.
I don't actually hate Pickens.
I would probably leave Pickens, but I would understand putting Neighbors in it.
Have some fun. It's week 1.
Have
some fun. It was more. I guarantee it was more fun drafting Neighbors than Pickens.
You heard it here first, Nick B. Have some fun. Chuck Neighbors
have some fun. Does sound fun.
It does. It sounds fun for me, who doesn't have to worry about when he stinks.
Yes.
All right, we got there's a Chase Brown, could become the guy there. Good pick. Charbonnet, handcuff, I guess. I do like BTJ this year. I think he's a talented wide receiver. And him and Christian Kirk don't really play the same roles, so I think they can both eat at offense. There's room for both, I think. Tyson Chandler, cool. Adonai Mitchell, another rookie wide receiver. Take your shot. You never know, right? Especially when you got the stack going on.
Yeah.
Jordan Mason. Doesn't hurt to have San Fran running back, I guess.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
I mean, he's got McCaffrey. He's able to get Jordan Mason, so that was huge.
That's fair. Is Jordan Mason the backup there?
He is. Yeah. I'm blanking on it right now, but they had somebody that got hurt. That kind of moved Mason up a little bit. I'm blanking at the moment, but yeah, people are really high on him if something something happens there, which hopefully doesn't for Nick's case. But
Yeah, I feel like every time Christian
yeah,
McCaffrey goes down in San Fran, it's just whoever the hell San Fran wants. They just chuck a guy in there and he's fine. So if it is Jordan Mason, then great. But I don't know if San Fran kind of doesn't
yeah, that's
want.
fair.
I've
Somebody that I
had
was
Jordan
looking at,
Mason before.
yeah, somebody that I was looking at on the bench. It was actually on Lemons' team, and it's not like I'm super high on this guy or not, but I don't mind the Mike Williams pick late in a draft when he is healthy. If Rodgers stays healthy, I think it's worth a shot. When you might need him 1 or 2, like only 1 or 2 weeks this season, but
Yeah.
I think where he's being drafted, it's totally worth a shot. It's much safer than previous years drafting Mike Williams.
I agree. I think he's the kind of pick that you'll know pretty quick whether or not you should hang on to him. And that's the same thing with Adam Thielen. A lot of these guys. Zeke even, Austin Eckler, I think pretty much the entirety of Lemons' bench are guys that he'll know 1 or 2 weeks into the season whether or not they're going to be good, and he cut them away. Hollywood, not that guy. Joe Burrow, obviously ain't him. Herbert, I guess he's a handcuff. Everybody else, I think, is Hawkinson, obviously, keep him on the IR. But
Yeah, R.I.P. Austin Eckler. It was fun while it lasted when I kept him for a couple of years. He was a stud, but
he could be good
team
this year.
was he could.
What if he's that guy, Jake, and everybody just let him drop into
I did let him drop, yeah.
8th round.
I chose not to keep him, so
Get it? What do you got in this game?
Good question. I think week one. I have to take Lemons here. Actually,
I agree. I lean Lemons.
I like Rachaad White. Rachaad White week one against the Commanders.
Oh, yeah. And the Tyreek Hill and Raheem Mostert against Jags. I never bet against Patrick Mahomes, and fine. I respect it. There's just a couple of guys on Nick B's team that I'm not super big on, like Tony Pollard, Pickens.
Maybe the Seattle defense against Denver will get like a random 23 points, something.
That's possible. They are playing Bo Nix.
Nix actually did look all right, but it's preseason, so.
Yeah, no, Yep.
Tampa Bay, actually, I just realized is playing against Jane Daniels in his first start, so
I'd rather play against Jane Daniels. Jane Daniels, I think, is Christian's boat of probably can't throw a football. But we'll see. All right, Jake. I think the last thing we can do real quick is just brush up on trades that happened. I believe there are so far. Brandon and Cade. AJ Dillon was traded to Brandon in a 14th for JSN in a 17th. There was some talk about JSN being on the block during the draft. That's all I'm gonna say. A little while after that. Oh, same day. That was the same day. Get after, boys.
Ricky minutes apart.
Yeah, they were. Ricky Pearsall to Cade as well. In a 12th for Jameson Williams in 17. You got your guy.
I got my guy. I wasn't planning on trading away future picks because it seems like the exact opposite thing I want to do this year, but I did get my guy. So
yeah, I remember the memes about that. That was good. And then just today, I traded with Cade. Cade's been involved in all these trades. Good for him. Getting after it. I traded him Keon Coleman for Khalil Shakir in a 12. I don't know. To me, yeah, you'd rather have Keon Coleman, but I think Khalil Shakir could have a better year. They're kind of a coin flip for me. I'll take the 12th because I drafted Coleman in the 12th. So basically,
not bad. Yeah.
No, I don't really care. Me, Khalil Shakir could end up being wide receiver 1 just as much as Keon Coleman. So happens, I guess, in that Buffalo offense, and I get 12th next year if it doesn't work out. And if it does work out, then suck my balls, Cade. Oh man. All right. Well, I think that'll wrap up this episode, Jake. Would you agree?
Yes, I do agree. Good luck to everybody this season,
Oh yeah.
and good luck to everybody this week
Oh,
except for
what?
Brian Chisholm.
Except for
I
Jake
beat him to the
Jorgensen.
punchline. Let's
No.
go.
I'm dead, boys. I'm dead. Oh shit. All right. Well, have a good week 1, everybody. You know, I hope all of your players stink except for mine. We are gonna be in for a good rewind next week. We will get to finally some announcements as far as what players are good and what players stink. 1 week is all we need to do that, right, Jake?
Absolutely. More than enough time.
More than enough time. People will be panicking in the streets after teams like Nick B lose week 1. He's going to be fire sailing
Yep.
All right. Well, take care, everybody. Go Pack, go, and all that. Let's get some wins here. Enjoy week 1. Games start tomorrow. Adios.